TIFU parking my girlfriend's car. I'm not quite sure if this is the best place to post it, but I'm feeling guilty enough that it seemed fitting. My girlfriend, 25, lives about an hour away in a small town. She was going out of state for the weekend for her friend's bachelorette party and had to use the airport that's only a few minutes away from my apartment. We figured she would just pick me up from my apartment and I would just drive her car back. All was going perfect. I had made her some coffee since she had to drive an hour to be at my place by 5:30 a.m. I dropped her off, then drove back to my apartment complex. Well, about a week ago they had sent out a notice about guest parking and that fines would be handed out to anyone parked in the complex who wasn't a tenant. They specifically said the road in front of the complex was the only area for guests to park. So of course that's exactly what I did. I went out of my way to make sure her car was parked on the right side of the road even. She was having such a great time over the weekend, and we really opened up a lot to each other emotionally and talked about how excited we were to see each other at the airport. On her last full day of the trip, I had gone to run an errand, and driving back I saw she had a green paper tucked under her windshield wiper. Initially I was annoyed thinking it was a warning to move the car because they specifically said it was guest parking. I went to check it out and someone had hit her car. The paper was an incident report. Without even thinking about it, I sent her a picture of the damage and the papers on who to call, and I feel like I really just ruined her weekend. She's already so stressed about money and now she's worried her rate will go up and I feel absolutely terrible. What's even worse is the incident happened the day she left and I didn't leave my apartment until 2 days later. I don't even understand how it happened because it's a wide street, wide enough for at least 4 cars I'd say. They hit the front of her car, so they had to have been literally all over the road, but her car was the only one parked there and it feels like had I just moved it forward a few feet this would have never happened. She's been acting a little distant since I told her about it and I really feel like I ruined the good time she was having. I go to pick her up in a few hours and the anxiety is eating away at me. I was really looking forward to rushing out to hug and kiss her when I saw her, but now I'm afraid she won't want to even talk on the drive back to her car. Honestly, any advice on how to make it up for her would be helpful. I already told her I could pay for repairs, but with her rates going up, I don't know how much it will help. Update: I picked her up from the airport and I could tell she was exhausted. The ride over to my apartment was a little quiet, but I really think she's just tired. She had to wake up at 3 a.m. to get to her flight today. But we looked at her car and she looked at the debris and laughed, saying that it seems like the other car got more damage. We loaded up her car with her bags and next thing I knew 2 hours had passed with us just standing by her car while she told me about a terrible book she read on the flight, how regretful she is that she let her friend paint her nails blue. She's the more butch rescue one out of the two of us. It's definitely a look, smiling face with open mouth and cold sweat face with tears of joy, and it was like everything was just fine. She even said herself that she had intended to see the damage and go because she was so exhausted, but it's like as soon as we started talking she woke right up, grinning face with smiling eyes. I definitely got myself worked up over nothing, but I thank everyone for their advice. 2. My girlfriend was going away for the weekend on a trip. I parked her car on the road where guests are supposed to park and saw someone had hit it. I think I ruined her weekend by telling her what happened on the last day of the trip. But everything turned out just fine when she saw the damage, and I think seeing it in person reassured her that it wasn't as bad as she was thinking.